The people who win in life aren't the ones who never fail. They're the ones who stop making excuses for why they do. They don't waste time explaining why something didn't work. They find another way. They don't talk about what's missing. They use what they have. They don't wait for motivation. They move out of discipline. When you strip away all the justifications, all the but you don't understand moments, all the stories we tell ourselves to feel better, what's left is the truth. And the truth is, most of the time, we just didn't want it bad enough. Because when you truly want something, you don't stop until you get it. You don't complain about what's in your way. You figure out how to move it. You don't cry about being tired. You find a way to rest and rise. You don't say, I can't. You ask, how can I? That shift in mindset separates the winners from the watchers. Excuses sound nice, but results feel better. Excuses feed your ego, but results feed your soul. And if you really think about it, every successful person you admire, every athlete, entrepreneur, leader, or creator, they all had excuses, every single one of them. But they didn't feed them. They starved them. They didn't use their circumstances as an excuse to stop. They used them as fuel to go harder. They took the same pain, the same rejection, the same setbacks, and turned them into power. You see, your excuse might sound unique to you, but someone else already beat it. Someone else already faced it and still made it. So your excuse isn't special. It's just recycled weakness. You can keep repeating it, or you can be the one who breaks it. Excuses are dangerous because they sound logical. They sound like they make sense. I can't start a business. I don't have money, chunks. I don't have money. Oh, I can't work out. I'm too busy. I can't chase my dream. My family doesn't support me. All of those sound reasonable until you meet someone who had less and still won. That's when you realize your excuse wasn't real. It was just comfortable. And comfort is the enemy of growth. You can either make excuses or make progress, but you can't do both. The more you feed your excuses, the more you starve your future. And the worst part, the more you repeat them, the more you start to believe them. That's how people die with potential still inside them. They tell themselves the same lies for so long that those lies become their identity. If you want to change your life, the first thing you've got to kill is your excuse habit. You've got to stop defending your limitations, dumb. You've got to stop using your past as permission to stay stuck. You've got to stop blaming people for the choices you're not making. You've got to stop waiting for perfect conditions that will never come. Life doesn't owe you the right moment. You create it. You create it through commitment, consistency, and ownership. Every time you take responsibility for something that goes wrong, instead of making an excuse, you take back your power. Because as long as you're blaming something else, you can't change it. But the moment you own it, you can fix it. So ask yourself, how many opportunities have you lost because you made an excuse? How many times have you talked yourself out of something that could have changed your life? How many dreams have you buried under someday, or next time, or I'll do it later? Those moments don't come back. Those chances don't repeat. The clock doesn't pause for excuses. Every second you spend explaining why you can't is a second you could have spent finding a way to do it. The harsh truth is that the world doesn't care about your reasons. It cares about your results. You can talk all you want about how life is unfair, but it won't change a thing until you start taking ownership of your mindset. The strong mind doesn't speak the language of excuses. It speaks the language of execution. It speaks the language of execution. They say I can't change my environment because I can't move cities, or I can't afford to be around successful people. But your environment isn't just where you are. It's what you consume. It's the books you read, the videos you watch, the words you repeat, the standards you set. You can build a powerful environment right where you are. You can fill your space with ideas that stretch your mind, with routines that sharpen your focus, with habits that train your discipline. You can design your own ecosystem of growth. The problem is, most people don't design, they drift. They let the world decide what fills their mind, what plays in their ears, and what influences their actions. That's why their mindset stays weak. Because their environment is designed for distraction, not transformation. If you want to break free from average, you have to become intentional about what surrounds you. Look at your circle. Do they challenge your excuses or comfort them? Do they celebrate your progress or compete with it? Do they push you toward your vision or pull you back into your past? You've got to start surrounding yourself with people who see the best version of you and refuse to let you settle for less. People who talk about goals, growth, and execution. People who push you to think bigger when you're thinking small. If everyone around you is okay with mediocrity, you'll start thinking mediocrity is success. But if everyone around you is obsessed with progress, you'll start feeling uncomfortable staying the same. And that's exactly the kind of discomfort that forces evolution. There's a reason why top performers are so selective with their circle, because they understand energy contamination. They know that one negative voice can poison your vision. One lazy influence can make you question your discipline. One doubter can plant seeds of hesitation that grow into fear. That's why it's not arrogance to distance yourself from people who don't align with your mindset. It's self-respect. You're not being cold. You're being careful. You're protecting your future from being shaped by the wrong hand. Because if you stay in an environment that doesn't challenge you, it will slowly destroy your hunger. And once you lose that hunger, your dream dies. Your environment should remind you of where you're going, not where you've been. Every day you wake up, something around you should push you forward. A vision board, a powerful quote, a list of goals, a routine that reinforces discipline. You've got to create an atmosphere that breathes progress. Because the truth is, you can't expect to rise while living in the same space that broke you. You can't keep hanging out in the same mental and physical spaces and expect transformation. You have to change your environment before your environment changes you. The environment doesn't just influence your thoughts, it programs them. It trains your mind to either dream or doubt, to move or hesitate, to grow or shrink. And the longer you stay in a toxic one, the more it rewires you to accept less than you deserve. That's why changing your environment is one of the most powerful mindset shifts you can make. It's not just about new places or new people. It's about new energy, new conversations, new standard. It's about creating a space that reflects the life you're building, not the one you're trying to escape. So ask yourself, what is your environment teaching you every day? What kind of energy are you inhaling from the people and places around you? Is it pushing you toward greatness or pulling you deeper into comfort? Because the truth is, success isn't found in motivation, it's found in momentum. And your environment either builds that momentum or breaks it. If you surround yourself with people who are constantly chasing more, your mind learns to do the same. Every time you tell yourself you can't, you're reinforcing the old version of you. Every time you talk about what went wrong, you're feeding the weakness that's trying to die. You gotta cut that off. You've got to start feeding the version of you that's ready to rise. Speak power into your reflection. Remind yourself that you're not your past mistakes, you're not your environment, and you're not your failures. You are your decisions, and the decision to see yourself as capable is the first step toward becoming unstoppable. They're stoppable. The mind doesn't change through motivation, it changes through repetition. You spend years repeating the wrong beliefs about yourself. I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not ready. That's why you need to replace those thoughts with new ones, and you have to repeat them until your brain starts believing them. Say it every morning, write it down. Speak it when you don't feel it, because one day those words will stop sounding like a lie and start sounding like your truth. That's how transformation happens, not in a single moment of inspiration, but through consistent reminders of who you truly are and who you're meant to become. Look at anyone who's achieved greatness. They didn't just work harder, they saw themselves differently. They saw something in themselves long before anyone else did. When no one believed in them, they believed anyway. And that's what changed everything. Because the world responds to how you show up. And how you show up depends on how you see yourself. If you walk into a room like you don't belong there, the world will agree. But if you walk in with conviction like you've already earned your place, the world adjusts to your energy. Confidence isn't arrogance, it's alignment with your purpose. It's knowing that your presence is not a mistake, that your goals are not fantasy, and that your vision deserves to exist. But here's the part most people avoid. Rebuilding your self-image isn't easy. It requires unlearning years of doubt, breaking habits of self-sabotage, and facing the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. It's about forgiving the old version of you who didn't know better. You can't move forward while constantly punishing yourself for who you were. Growth begins when you stop defining yourself by your past and start designing yourself for your future. You have to understand that every mistake you made was part of your training. Every failure was shaping you. Every setback was sculpting your mindset. You weren't breaking, you were being built. When you finally start to see yourself as powerful, something inside you shifts. You stop chasing validation. You stop needing approval. You stop playing small just to fit in. You start making moves that scare you because you finally understand your worth. You start realizing that you don't need to wait for permission to become great. You were born with that right, but you have to claim it. You have to believe it before anyone else does, because no one's going to hand you your confidence. You have to create it. The moment you redefine who you are, your whole world changes. Your habits change. Your discipline strengthens. Your energy rises. You stop hesitating and start executing. You stop saying, some days, and start saying, I know. Because the only thing that was ever holding you back was your reflection. Not your boss, not your background, not your circumstances. You. But here's the good news. Since it's you, it means you have the power to change it. You've got to wake up every morning and remind yourself that you are not the same person you were yesterday. You've learned, you've grown, you've survived things that would have broken others. You've earned the right to believe in your power. And from this moment forward, you can't keep letting that old insecure version of you drive the car. That version can't come with you where you're going. You've got to replace fear with faith, doubt with discipline, and hesitation with action. Because success starts in the mind long before it shows up in your life. And when you finally change the way you see yourself, you start making choices that match your vision. You stop shrinking. You stop apologizing. You stop waiting. And you start creating. That's when you realize the truth. Your mindset was never your enemy. It was your untrained mirror. Once you teach it to reflect your greatness instead of your fear, nothing in this world can hold you back again. 6. Motivation is a spark, but mindset is the fire that keeps you burning when everything else fades. Too many people confuse the two. They chase motivation like it's fuel, waiting for the next speech, the next video, the next quote to get them moving. But motivation is temporary. It fades when life gets real, when the pressure hits, when no one's watching. The truth is, success isn't about being motivated. It's about being mentally trained to keep going even when you don't feel like it. That's what mindset is. Maintenance. It's the system that keeps your purpose alive when your emotions shut down. It's the internal discipline that says, I don't care if I'm tired. I don't care if I'm uninspired. I made a commitment and I'm keeping it, and I'm keeping it. That's what separates the dreamers from the finishers. Dreamers love motivation because it feels good. It's emotional. It's inspiring. It gives them a rush. But finishers, they love structure. They love consistency. They love waking up and putting in work even when the excitement is gone. They know that if you only work hard when you feel motivated, you'll never build anything that lasts. The strongest people aren't the ones who are constantly hyped up. They're the ones who have trained their minds to operate on command, not on move. They understand that feelings are unreliable, but habits are loyal. And they know that real success demands maintenance, not just moments of inspiration. Think about it like a car. Motivation is like fuel. It can get you started, but if your engine isn't built right, you won't make it far. Your mindset is that engine. It's what determines whether you break down under pressure or keep moving through it. You can listen to motivational talks all day, but if your mindset isn't trained to handle adversity, the first obstacle will take you out. You'll talk big until life punches you in the mouth, and it will, because every goal worth chasing comes with struggle, sacrifice, and silence. And when that silence comes, the only voice that can keep you moving is the one inside your own head. That's where mindset comes in. Your mindset is the foundation of your discipline. It's the voice that decides whether you hit snooze or get up, whether you make excuses or make adjustments, whether you quit when it hurts or keep pushing because you promised yourself you would. And the problem with most people is that they depend on motivation to do the job that discipline should do. They think success is about being inspired, but it's really about being consistent. They say, I'll start when I feel ready, not realizing that the best never wait to feel ready. They start, they struggle, they fail, and they keep showing up until it becomes natural. A strong mindset doesn't depend on emotion. It depends on mission. It depends on mission. That's the difference between a professional and an amateur. An amateur waits for the right moment. A professional creates it. A professional doesn't care if it's raining, if they're tired, if nobody's clapping. They show up because their mission demands it. They've conditioned their mind to move without permission. That's the power of maintenance, doing what's required long after the feeling of motivation is gone. Because the truth is, there will be days when you hate the process, when your energy is gone, when nothing seems to work. And in those moments, your mindset becomes your lifeline. It's what reminds you why you started. It's what anchors you when your emotions try to pull you away. You can always tell who has a strong mindset. They don't panic under pressure. They don't crumble when things fall apart. They adjust, they adapt, they rebuild. Because they've accepted that setbacks are part of the process. Weak minds see obstacles as reasons to quit. Strong minds see them as opportunities to grow. That's the difference between people who talk about success and those who live it. One group is waiting for life to get easier. The other is training their mind to get tougher. You've got to understand your mind is a muscle. And like any muscle, if you don't train it, it gets weak. Every time you give in to excuses, you're training weakness. Every time you say, I'll do it tomorrow, you're teaching your mind to delay your destiny. But every time you keep your word, even when it hurts, even when no one's watching, you're building mental strength. You're teaching your brain that your promises matter. And once your brain learns that you mean business, your confidence grows. That's when you stop needing motivation because you built momentum. Momentum is what happens when discipline starts paying off. It's when your habits start producing results. And those results fuel your hunger to keep going. But you can't reach that point if you quit every time motivation disappears. You've got to keep maintaining that mindset even when it feels pointless. Because success doesn't announce itself. It sneaks up on you after years of unseen effort. One day you wake up and realize you've become everything you used to wish for. Not because you were motivated every day, but because you were consistent every day. Let me be real with you. The world doesn't reward effort, it rewards endurance. Anybody can start something, but few can sustain it. And sustainability requires mindset maintenance. You have to constantly check yourself, challenge your comfort, and renew your hunger. The reason most people lose momentum is because they stop feeding their mind. They stop reading, they stop visualizing, they stop challenging their limits. They think once they achieve something, they can relax. And that's when they start slipping. You've got to maintain the same fire that got you started even after the fire becomes routine. You can't let comfort steal your commitment. Mindset maintenance also means protecting your thoughts. You can't build a strong mind while constantly feeding it negativity, gossip, and fear. You've got to guard your mental space like it's sacred, because it is. Every thought you allow in either strengthens or weakens your foundation. If you keep listening to people who doubt themselves, eventually you will start doubting too. But if you feed your mind with discipline, belief, and vision every single day, you'll stay grounded no matter what chaos hits around you. You've got to become your own source of energy and understand this. Building a strong mindset isn't a one-time thing. It's daily. It's uncomfortable. It's lonely. It's the process of constantly choosing growth over ease, purpose over pleasure, and progress over pride. You'll have to talk to yourself more than you talk to anyone else. You'll have to fight the voice that says it's not working or wasting time or not good enough. Because that voice doesn't go away. It gets quieter only when your mindset gets louder. And the only way to silence it is through consistent action. Every time you push through, you prove that voice wrong. So stop chasing hype. Stop waiting to feel inspired. Start building a mindset that moves even when your feelings don't. Because success isn't emotional, it's intentional. It's not about being in the right mood. It's about having the right mentality. You don't need more motivation, you need more maintenance. You need to train your mind to show up, to push through, to execute no matter what. That's the difference between people who wish and people who win. The winners have mastered the maintenance of their mindset. They've learned to keep going when the world goes silent. They don't depend on energy, they create it. And once you reach that level, life changes. You stop looking for reasons to quit. You stop waiting for signs. You stop needing outside validation. You move because you decided to move. You win because you refuse to stop. That's the kind of mindset that doesn't just chase success. it commands it. And when you build that level of mental strength, nothing, no failure, no doubt, no setback can ever take it away from you. 7, there comes a point where you've got to stop blaming the world and start looking within, because sometimes it's not your environment, it's not your circumstances, and it's not your lack of opportunity that's holding you back. It's you. It's your own thinking, your own habits, your own disbelief in what you're capable of. You can have the best plan, the best resources, and even the best intentions. But if your mindset is rooted in fear, scarcity, and self-doubt, success will never stick. You'll keep finding yourself in the same place year after year, wondering why life isn't changing, when in reality, your mindset never evolved to match the life you said you wanted. The truth is, success is not just about grinding harder, it's about thinking higher. You can't reach new levels of life with an old level of mind. You can't operate from a mindset of survival and expect a future of abundance. And that's the exact trap most people fall into. They keep trying to build an empire with a mindset still fighting for survival. You have to start by understanding that your mindset is the engine that drives every action, every reaction, and every result in your life. It's the silent force behind your daily choice. If that mindset is contaminated with fear, self-pity, or hesitation, it doesn't matter how much motivation you consume. You'll always sabotage yourself. You'll talk yourself out of taking the leap. You'll downplay your potential. You'll settle for it good enough when greatness is within your reach. That's why mindset isn't something you fix once. It's something you train every single day. You have to rebuild the way you think, like a soldier rebuilding his strength after every battle. You have to be aware of your mental habits, the ones that whisper lies like you're not ready or you're not good enough. Because those whispers, they become beliefs. And those beliefs, they become your reality. When you start thinking differently, you start moving differently. You stop letting small minds talk you out of big dreams. You stop wasting energy trying to convince others to believe in you, because your mindset becomes so bulletproof that external validation doesn't even matter. You become a walking manifestation of belief, and that belief radiates through everything you do. See, once your mind shifts, your life follows. Once your thoughts align with your goals, the universe responds. That's the power of mindset. It's the gateway between where you are and where you want to be. But too many people keep the gate locked because they're afraid of what's on the other side. They're afraid of failure, afraid of success, afraid of change, afraid of responsibility. But let me tell you this. Fear is just imagination in disguise. You're afraid of something that hasn't even happened yet. And if you can imagine failure, why can't you imagine victory? Why can't you imagine success? The same mind that creates fear has the power to create faith. It's your choice which one you feed. But here's where it gets real. Your mindset will always reveal itself in how you respond to struggle. Anyone can talk positive when life's easy, but your true mental strength is tested when everything falls apart. That's when your inner voice gets loud and it either builds you or breaks you.